and Jacob cornered me and slammed me up against the wall and was like, "You have to join my band." And then I got really scared because Jacob's kind of scary, you know. Bringin It Backwards.
How are you today, Adam?
I'm doing well, man. How are you?
Yeah, great.
Thanks for doing this. I'm super excited.
What's up, man?
Hey,
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well. I appreciate you.
I got very distracted by the background
It's all good.
the background stuff, and I feel like I'm now being rude.
Oh no, you're not at all.
I
Not at
know.
all. Hey,
Hello.
Noah, what's going on?
Hello.
How are you?
I'm chill. How are you?
I'm doing well. I appreciate it. Hey, Jacob.
Can you hear me?
Noah, where's your
Yeah.
mic?
I don't have one.
Dude,
So I was listening back to the
amateur
other,
hour
I-
over here. Jeez.
I was listening back to the other podcast we did, and I realized I sounded so bad because I didn't have a freaking microphone.
Oh, it
was
sounds
like-
good on this end.
Yeah, well, now I'm set.
You're all mic'd up,
I'm mic'd up.
but Noah doesn't sound bad. Maybe it's just the computer speaker that
It's
sounds.
bad.
It's not bad. You just sound like the emperor.
Do I sound bad?
Well, I appreciate you all doing this. I'm Adam, and this podcast is about you guys and your journey in music. And I want to talk about the new music you've been putting out and what you guys got going on. I know you're playing here in Nashville. I moved to Nashville recently, and you have 2 nights here, which is rad.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Nashville rules.
Yeah, so that'll be exciting. I want to go check you guys out for sure. I'm originally from San Diego, and I moved here just a little over a year ago. I love it, but I know you guys are based in LA now.
Yes, sir.
Cool. Awesome. Well, yeah, I always start off with kind of the origin of the band, if that's cool. Were you all were you all from the same area? I know the band kind of formed in Reno, right? But like a couple of you are from outside of Vegas. Is that what I saw?
We
So
were
me-
all born in the same hospital.
That's
And-
crazy.
and went
Same
home.
day?
On the same
we
day at the
actually
same
they
time.
actually got like our names tags mixed up and stuff, so we all ended up
Uh-oh.
going to the same house. And then no, I'm just kidding. Me and Jacob are from Vegas.
Okay.
I'm from
and
City, Oklahoma.
Oklahoma. Okay. What about you, Noah?
And I'm from Omaha, Nebraska, not to be confused with Oklahoma, because people always think I'm from Oklahoma because I say Omaha.
Oh yeah, sure.
that,
Okay.
that
Omaha.
sounds like that road trip joke. Do you remember the movie Road Trip?
Yeah, didn't
I
we
do.
watch that in
With-
Toronto?
No, we watched Euro Trip.
Oh, we watched Euro Trip. Okay.
which is actually a better movie. It's
Yeah.
funnier and
Yeah.
holds up. But Road Trip, there's the Tom
Tom
Green joke
Green's
where-
in that, right?
Yeah. And there's
Okay.
the Tom Green joke that's so funny, and he's like he keeps on calling it Austin, Massachusetts, but they're going to Boston, and then there's a running joke throughout the movie where he keeps going. They're like, where are they going to? And he's like, Austin, Massachusetts, and then they're like Boston, and then he's like, no, Boston. I don't know. I'm literally destroying the joke right now, like because I can't remember how it is because I haven't seen that movie since I was like 13. But
Sure, but that's awesome. Well, cool. So let's get into let's go back to the beginning then. Okay, so we'll start with you then, Noah. Omaha, Nebraska, born and raised there. Tell me about that a little bit.
Sorry, the loud car just drove by. What'd you say?
I said you're from Omaha, Nebraska, and tell me about that. What was it like growing up there?
It was great. I grew up. There was a really nice small music scene there, and I just was affiliated with that, and I helped run a venue when I was in high school.
Mhm.
And, yeah, it was nice.
Did you play guitar? Was that the first instrument you learned?
Yeah, I started playing guitar when I was 6.
Wow.
Yeah.
What drew you to guitar? Do you have a musical household, or parents play at all?
Angus Young from AC/DC.
Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah.
We're just a fan of AC/DC. Your parents into AC/DC?
My elementary school best friend's brother showed me Highway to Hell, and then I
Okay.
was hooked. I don't come from a musical family at
Okay.
all. Yeah.
No, that played in the car yesterday, and I thought of you.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's cool, man. So AC/DC started it, and then from there you just kept playing guitar. You played in bands through high school.
Yeah,
It sounds like you booked venue.
So in high school, I joined a Riot Girl band. I played drums, and that was my first band, and it kind of sounded like Bikini Kill and all that like K Record stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I was in like a bunch of different bands in Omaha, and like all these like cool bands came through Omaha playing these like smaller venues, so I got to make a lot of friends that way. And then I moved to New York, and I played in this band called Navy Gangs, and that's how I met Nick and Jacob, because we would play shows together. And then I met Henry at a Current Joy's show, and now I live in LA and I'm in Surf Curse.
Cool, man. That's so you guys met in New York originally? Noah and Jacob, you guys met you met
Yeah,
you guys met in New York just playing shows, but then you ended up the band started when you got to LA, correct?
Oh,
No, Surf
yeah,
Curse.
So
Sorry, I'm
so-
confusing everybody here.
no, it's okay.
so Noah and Henry joined the band about 2-3 years ago now.
Okay.
Yeah, but the band
So that's
has been
where I got
going for
confused.
like 12-13
Yeah,
years.
because the first record came out
We-
in 2000. The first album was 2013. That's where I got confused. I thought everybody was.
Yeah.
That's when it all started. Got you.
And technically that's even wrong because we put out stuff. Jacob, that's the first official album came out in 2013, but me and Jacob released all of the songs on Bandcamp in like 2011, 2012. Is that right, Jacob?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
2011. Yeah. We released some demos and had some
But they
stuff
weren't
out,
demos
and then,
at the time. They were the songs.
well, we
we were
re-recorded everything and put,
I know.
did buds.
But we never planned on
So-
re-recording. Me and Jacob lived in a basement together,
Okay.
and then we got in a big fight. Jacob moved out. It wasn't because of the fight.
Wait,
But
you're jumping
Jacob-
all over. If you
I'm
want to talk
jumping
about,
all over the place.
Yeah,
I'm jumping
let me
all
hear
over
it.
the place. But you wanted the circus
if you want to know the origin story is that me and Nick met in high school when we were living in Henderson, Nevada,
Okay.
and we did not have like a music scene or anything that we can like really go to or be a part of. We were huge fans of music. We lived through the internet. We lived like, knowing a band was going to come like 6 months later, and that was like the thing to look forward to. And it wasn't until we
Okay. moved
moved to Reno where we actually had an all ages music venue, like a place that would actually let us in, because everything in Vegas was 21 plus.
Mm-hmm.
When we moved to Reno for college, me and Rattigan were kind of like, oh, this is our time to like be a part of a music scene. Like we can form a band. Like we had these intentions of like, starting something and playing these shows, like, and trying to, go elsewhere. So we lived in a basement together. We wanted to form a band. We got so annoyed with each other because we were like terrible roommates. I moved out, and then I kept going over to the basement that we used to live in. And
the funny thing about the fight is like we had that argument, and then like after the argument we were like, we should start a band. Like,
Yeah.
we were like, you know what? We should take this more seriously, because we already had been playing music together since high school. Jacob was in our first high school band, and then was that's an infamous story.
So you
Kicked out at the high school football game.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, I want to get into that. So you guys grew up, in the same area. If you went to high school together. Well, real quick, just to get there, Nick, were you born in a musical? Did you grow up in a musical household? And how did you start into music?
Not raised in a musical household. raised in a household of medical professionals.
Okay.
That's funny, Nick. Nick, that's funny because
because so
I
are
would
you.
I would say that I was also raised in a household of medical professionals as well.
A lot of medical talk, a lot of talk about insurance stuff.
Omaha, big insurance town.
Like medical insurance.
Yeah.
Actually, one of my first jobs was working in the front. Well, it wasn't official. I was like in middle school or elementary school, and on my days off, I would come and work. My mom's a nurse practitioner. I would come and work in her front office. And one of my jobs was like sorting medical files. And I would sort medical files, and then that's how I learned about health insurance at a young age. Because the women in the front office would explain to me health insurance, and they would be like, yeah, you have to stamp this one, United Healthcare. You have to stamp this one, and that was like a more advanced job. But I was like, what is this healthcare thing? It doesn't make any sense. And you know what? It still doesn't.
Was your family pushing you towards that field?
No,
with
never.
a nurse practitioner? No, never.
No,
okay.
my mom was like, do whatever the hell you like. She always put me. They put me in everything as a kid. Like I was in like 7 different sports, Boy Scouts, drum. Like I started drum lessons when I was like 8 years old. So
wow.
They were like very supportive of that. It wasn't until I was like getting out of college that they were like worried. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Then it was like,
like,
because
is he gonna do something with this?
It's like it's endearing as a child, like my child
Sure.
wants to play drums, but what happens when they're like 23 and they're like playing drums still and going for it.
Did you go to school for music or something totally different?
No, I went to school for journalism.
Okay.
I have a degree in journalism and business administration.
And what would you want to do?
You know what they teach you in business school? I was just talking to someone about this the other day. I took this entrepreneurship class, and the first thing they teach you is don't go into business for something you love because you'll get too emotional about it.
Interesting.
I don't know if they teach that in every business school, but they taught that at my business school.
And guess what?
Yeah.
And guess what?
I did that. Business.
I have a business of something that I have no emotional attachment to at all. And it helps me make strategic business decisions.
There you go.
I'm gonna be honest, because of Nick's like business education, like it's like seriously, like if it wasn't for him, like I think we would make all the wrong decisions as far as like everything that we've ever done with this band. Like it's so insane. Like I think a lot of people get screwed over in this industry because it's like they want to just say yes because it just seems right, but like because of Nick, like he literally can look at anything and be like, well, this is wrong and this is wrong and this is right, and we should push for this and this and this, and it's like, oh my God, like thank God, like if he didn't do this in the first place, like who knows like how much in debt we could have been, or made the wrong business decisions, or like whatever, it's kind of like it's a blessing you did that, in all honesty. The only person I know who got a college education who I'm like, dude, thank God you you pursued that.
Right.
Well, thank God I have like a basic understanding of Excel spreadsheets,
Sure. Well, it's interesting because like you said, Jacob, you're right, is the industry will make make it seem like they're the only option for you, or they're going to do these things that no one else can do. And if it's like a record deal is coming towards you, it might be like, oh my gosh, this is what I need to do. And people just sign off on it no matter what. Right. If you don't say yes to us, then we're not going to come back and offer you another deal, and no one else is going to care.
Or
Exactly.
you just don't need to sign it ever anyways. And it's fine.
Right. But that's not how most people will be. It's pitched to them, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, people always think like, this is their only opportunity, or they don't read the fine print or whatever. And it's like, and then people get screwed over.
Sure.
It's crazy because I the warnings are always there. You know, there's so many people who have like signed things and you know, they get screwed over. I literally watched like a interview with the Clash. It's like a BBC like little like 10-minute documentary that's like on YouTube, and it's literally their manager being like, well, these are why this is. It's like they're like, well, the record industry sucks, and like this is why bands should read the fine print. You don't want to get screwed over. And it's like, oh, they're saying this in like literally like 1979.
But that's been happening since, you know, like Chuck Berry signed away all of his publishing rights when he first signed.
Yeah, even then.
You know,
Crazy.
like that's a thing that's been happening since the music industry became a music industry, you know.
Absolutely, because they're, I mean, like anyone at the top of an industry is just a criminal, like at the end of the day.
Well, I mean, yeah, if they own, so many bands have signed away
If
their
you're-
masters or their publishing rights, or then it's now they're either, if they shelve your record too, then what are you going to do? You can't even release the songs. They're just there in the ethos somewhere on their their desk. But okay, real quick, Jacob. So you guys grew up together. You and Nick grew up together. So tell me about your experience in Vegas.
So it's weird because me and Nick actually had a conversation recently about like appreciating the desert, but like at that time there is just such a bleakness that goes along with that, especially growing up in an environment like that. It's dry. There's no plant life except for desert plants, but I mean it's like everything is forced, you know, the grass, water being wasted. The water that we even taken in it's mad bad for us at the time. Still there. There's just like there's no sign of life that's anywhere. So there's just kind of like this, oh, I'm like closed off in this environment. You know, like the fact that you're young and you're not able to like, and especially like living vicariously like through the internet, there's no real escapism that feels real. Like our escapism was like living through the internet and trying to find new music and hanging out with each other on the weekends. We both went to 2 different schools, and Nick was my best friend, and I would just go over to his house like constantly, and we just watch movies and we'd hang out. The way that we met was we had a mutual friend who wanted to like start a band. He was like, Jacob, you're gonna play bass. Buy a bass guitar. I'm gonna teach you how to play bass. You're gonna join a band with my friend Nick. I was like, okay. And then we had 2 band practices, and then at a football game, this guy was like, hey, you're out of the band. And then this guy, and he pointed at this guy next to him. He's like, this guy's replacing you. And the guy was like, hey, how you doing? It was so insane. And I was like, what? And I'm like sitting there, and I like just got kicked out of the band. And it was just like such a weird moment. And then it was funny because like I went to every one of Nick and this guy's shows after that, and I was like their biggest fan. And I was like the guy who got like kicked out.
It was like Jacob, my mom, maybe a few other people.
Yeah,
you went to the Battle of the Band show that everyone was booing us after. Like
I
every
did not go to that. I got sick. Who
was with that? It was my dad.
I had diarrhea.
Else. Oh man. Okay, I remember my dad and another friend went and watched us at that Battle of the Bands, and we got booed after every song. But we got the biggest mosh pits too. So like people went the hardest for us, but they also booed us at the same time.
Yeah,
we were very,
interesting.
very divisive.
Sure.
Band, you know?
I wish I saw that, honestly.
Did you guys play for very long before before you guys started jamming?
The guy
again,
I don't think Jacob didn't even make it to a live show.
No, but I mean after that band kind of dissolved.
Oh,
yeah.
Well,
they dissolved
band
because
was
that
called...
guy's crazy. That guy is
oh
insane.
Yeah, that guy is insane.
That guy is like a serial killer, like secret.
No, like he's hyper intelligent and he's scary. So
yeah.
Anyways, but he showed us all of my favorite. Like he introduced me to the Pixies, so you know, gotta love him.
Yeah, he had a decent taste in music, or a good taste in music. It sounds like
Good. good taste. Well, he
All
did like
psychos
Frank
do, right?
Zappa.
Oh.
Frank Zappa.
Frank Zappa.
Oh,
So,
man.
Oh my
well,
God.
also I was gonna just say we were like hardcore mall rats. Also, me and Jacob. Like,
Yeah.
I think we like lived at the mall for sure.
Well, I guess if
But-
you're in Vegas
I
and,
was
it's
gonna
10
say-
million degrees, that's probably a good spot to be.
Oh, and we would
Well, the
walk
thing-
outside to like we'd walk from the mall to the Best Buy that was like there. It's a 10-minute walk, which is insane. Cause like the way that Vegas, like Henderson specifically in Vegas, like it's like everyone drives. So and it's very like, oh, everyone shops and everything. So it's like they
All
make these
shopping malls.
gigantic like parking lots that are just so insane. Everything is like wide and big. So like if we're like, walking everywhere, it's like we're walking these like great distances like in between. So we'd go to the mall, walk
It's
over
like
to
Lawrence
Best
of
Buy,
Arabia.
buy CDs, and then like, go listen to them. And that was like our whole like youth.
Okay.
Yeah, and I was gonna say one thing that was interesting about Vegas is it's like I'm sure it's the same as how like Henry or Noah felt growing up because it's like a suburb. It's a suburb, except it's in the middle of death, of like literally like it's in the middle of 125-degree heat with no, like Jacob was saying, like no plant life, no anything. You drive to the edge of town and you just see darkness. For miles and miles.
I was in
So, like-
Henderson or like Vegas, and I had to stop and fill up gas in Henderson like
Yeah.
last year. And
Yeah.
it was so hot out, and I was like, oh my God, like these guys grew up here. Like,
Yeah.
I feel so bad.
Dude, every time you get out of your car, you're just like, God damn it.
Yeah.
You're like,
right.
you're just like, holy shit. I am burning. I am
And-
burning alive.
And like the worst thing about that is people like want to be inside all the time. There's no like, oh, I'm gonna go outside and get some fresh air. Like everyone hangs out inside. Therefore, everyone is just like in their homes constantly. So like all like no offense to my family, they're all fucking crazy. They're all stir crazy because they're like they pretty much have cabin fever because they never. It's like going outside is like a nightmare. So they just stay inside all the time.
So like,
everyone,
We're on those cool Vegas evenings, baby.
everyone in Vegas are a bunch of wackos, man.
I was gonna say, so like when COVID happens, it's just like every other day.
Oh,
aside
twice
from,
the
like,
insanity. Yeah.
Well,
Oh,
no,
we're
when
already
COVID
inside.
happened, more people decided to go gamble
Oh, interesting.
and go crazy.
Oh yeah,
Real-
things will open up a lot faster there.
Oh. Well, Henry, I want to get to you real quick. So tell me about your origin story. Born and raised, you said Oklahoma.
Raised Oklahoma City, Oklahoma.
Okay, what was that like?
Very similar to Noah's, teenage experience, I guess. Played in bands, played in some punk bands and like some emo bands.
Okay.
Just at DIY venues and shit like that. And yeah, it was kind of just a place where you had to make your own fun, like a lot of Midwestern or Southern cities. Moved out to LA for school, 2012. Studied classical guitar performance,
Wow.
degree in classical guitar performance, which is something, I guess.
Sounds special, man.
Oh yeah, is
Henry-
it like
Henry
a
is-
degree
Henry
in
is-
business management?
Not even that close. It's useless compared to that.
That's not true,
Henry can
Henry.
serenade an entire room, though. That's for sure.
Play a good arpeggio, man. Play a
Yeah.
hell of arpeggio.
You know who's got good arpeggios?
Who dat?
Trey Anastasio,
Shut
man.
the fuck up.
That guy's an arpeggio king.
Oh, did you watch that video of that little kid who played that show with Phish that I sent you the other day?
Yeah, I did.
Interesting, huh?
I actually recently changed my phone background.
Oh my
Oh
god,
my
dude.
God.
Seems like a natural transition though. Noah's a huge deadhead and now he's transitioning to the Phish
A
king.
fish. Okay.
Yeah, I'm a 3.0 fan, you know.
That's
Adam,
funny.
how do you like fish? Have you ever
Um,
tried? Have you ever delved in?
I a little bit actually saw Fish when I was living in San Francisco. It was quite the
Oh!
experience. They played like a festival. I can't remember which one it was. Maybe Outside Lands. They played one of those big festivals.
Were you not sober? when you're
I
at
wasn't
this?
sober. No,
That's
I
perfect.
wasn't.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
If you get past the goofy vocals, the jams are so good. That's
You know, I have a I
I-
have a con- I have a confession to make. I have a confession to make.
Okay.
I've somehow this is not true actually now that I'm thinking of it, but I don't think I've ever listened to a Phish song.
Oh, cool. Well, we're about to be on tour for 3 months.
I
I was
know.
gonna say you guys are gonna have a lot of time together.
I rather listen to Grateful Dead the whole time and not
And
even
never
try
listen
with
to
Phish.
Oh
It's
man,
fun, man. It's fun
Yeah.
music.
that's funny. So, well, did you play bass in the band though, Henry? Like, when did you switch? Did you play obviously guitar, classical guitar? Was that something that you started off young doing and then played
well-
that through high school and then obviously into college?
I was really around the age of 10 attracted to guitar for some reason. I mean, I don't really come from a musical family either. They're very creative people and love listening to music, but
Okay.
play music at all. I think maybe my great grandfather played piano, but that's like the only person. But I think, I don't know. I watched School of Rock around that time, and that
That's a big one.
was huge for me.
Okay.
Same.
And wanted to play electric guitar, but this was right around the time that I was going from elementary school to middle school. And the middle school I wanted to go to was performing arts middle school, but they only did classical Spanish style guitar.
Oh, they didn't have like a jazz band or anything? Interesting.
Yeah. So in order to go to that school, I had to start learning classical guitar and start taking lessons. And after, maybe 6 months of resistance to the idea of it, I really fell in love with it. And then the next fucking 12 years was just a lot of classical
A
guitar.
lot of classical guitar. And you said you played in some bands too, in high school?
Yeah, I played in punk bands, and I played in a really melodic math rock band, I guess.
Okay. And then
And
you
then-
moved to LA, and that's when. So I guess how long ago did you and Henry join Surf Curse? And was that
3
in
years
LA? Were you
ago.
all in LA?
No, we
I-
joined 3 years ago, right?
Yeah, 29.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so tell me how that happened.
Well, I played in a band out here called Furbus that was on the same label that Nick and Jacob used to be on.
Okay.
Surf Curse and Current Joys, and was Gap Girls on that label too, Jacob?
Yeah.
Yeah. So my band was also on that label, and I was playing around here and having shows at my house, and Nick played a Current Joy show at my house, and I was also working door at this venue in LA. So I was kind of just, around and knew the guys, but not super well until, I guess early 2019. I was living in New York very briefly, and Nick was playing a Current Joy show in New York, and kind of reconnected with everybody then, and met Noah for the first time then.
And then Noah, you met them in New York when you were in New York.
Yeah.
Okay. And then
I was visiting LA, or I was on tour in LA with this band Poppies. And was it Poppies, Jacob?
Yeah, you were playing with Poppies. Yeah.
And then I was dying on that tour, and Jacob, we were at this bar that I actually live really close to now, and Jacob cornered me and slammed me up against the wall and was like, "You have to join my band." And then I got really scared because Jacob's kind of scary, and so
Well, I asked when I called you about joining the band, and you're
well,
like,
no,
writing
you asked me. You asked me
yeah.
if
I
I'd
was
be
like-
interested at the bar, and then you called me.
and
when
we're like,
I remember-
officially, yeah.
I remember I was working. I sold pot in New York on a bike, and I was.
you weren't like a bud tender. It was just like
No, it was this
street
was
pharmacist.
illegal. This was illegal.
Okay.
I was an illegal bud tender, but I was
Gotcha.
selling pot. And he called me, and I was working almost every day and biking a bunch, just really exhausted. And I think maybe a month before, I got robbed and a knife to my neck.
Oh
And I
my
was,
God.
looking, I just needed out. And Jacob called me and I was like, of course I will go on this tour with you, like for sure. And that's what originally that's what I thought it was going to be, was just going to be like this tour. And then, gratefully, me and Henry have gotten to be in the band since then,
Mm-hmm.
which is sick.
The vibes were just so right with everybody.
I wasn't there for that. Well, obviously no one was there for that moment except for Jacob and Noah, but for some reason in my head I can picture exactly your reaction on the bike. Like I just see it, I see it so clearly, like, what? Yeah, dude, hell yeah. Let's do it.
Nick, we were driving. We were driving.
Crazy. Oh yeah, you were on. I was. Yeah,
we were on a. We were like going to Vegas or something on like a trip. It was. We were like doing something
I think you guys
together.
were filming the Midnight Cowboy music video.
That's what it was. Yeah.
No,
I'm pretty
way.
sure.
Yeah.
That's when it happened.
Yeah.
Well,
Bruh.
I remember telling Henry. I remember asking Henry. It was in Echo Park.
yeah, exactly.
I was very covert about it. I was like, "Hey, do you want to meet up and have a coffee? Maybe we'll walk around the park."
That's classic.
And then I waited for a long time to ask. And then as we were walking around the park, I was like, "Hey."
We were hanging out for hours, and then
It was a long hang until I asked.
He's courting you.
I was courting.
I was working at the.
Well, maybe I was still sussing you out.
That's okay. So prior to that, though, it was just the two of you?
Yeah.
Yeah. We've had various like other members throughout the years playing like third guitar. At one point, we were a 4-piece. At one point, with Henry and Noah, we were a 5-piece with Maddie Boyd.
Okay.
But I think this iteration has been one of the most awesome, fun, creatively fulfilling.
It's solid. Yeah.
It just all feels very natural. Like the four of us playing together feels as natural as like when me and Jacob started the band 12 years ago.
Oh, wow.
We like refused to add anyone else to the band at the beginning. We were just like we always had this guy at a venue being like, "You guys should get a bassist." And we're just like, "Cause you're a bassist, like you just want to be in the band. Like we're not having anyone in." And like anytime that we even like tried or attempted, it just never felt like good. We were just so like just like this the whole time, and we're like, we don't need it. And then like
our friend
and
our friend Lily West.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Our friend Lily West has a really funny story. Who actually she ended up playing in the band. She plays in our Audio Tree session. On a few tours, and she met us in LA years before that, and she was like, "You guys don't have do you guys have a bass? You don't have a bass?" And I looked her in the eyes and I said, "We hate bass." And I don't even remember saying that, but apparently I did. And so, things change. People change.
And kind of realize you need it.
Yeah, you kind of realize
very
you
necessary.
Need it. The Doors never realized that though.
Yeah.
Well, the Doors had the Ray Manzarek playing organ bass with his feet.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's the trick.
And also, if you listen to the recordings, there's actually bass guitar on it. But
Wow.
Yeah. But
so Jim Morrison is a fraud in another way as well.
So are these new songs that you guys have been putting out, like Sugar and Self-Portrait, the new one, and all these, is that the four of you together on those recordings?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I love Self-Portrait. That song is so good.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, I love the guitar work. Those four songs are all amazing, but I've been listening to that one like on repeat for the past few days.
Oh, yeah. Thanks, man.
Yeah, I really like it.
Honestly, it's funny because how they're coming out is kind of like, I would argue that like Sugar and Lost Honor, like those songs feel like early. I mean, that was like before we started writing more as a band, right? Like that was like me and Jacob were still bringing songs to the table. But like TVI feels like more of a branch out of that. Like we all started writing it together. But Self-Portrait, it just feels like the rest of the album is more of like the four of us collaborating on things. So I feel like the things that have not been released yet is some more of like Arrow for instance feels like the first time that Jacob brought a piece of a song. You know, I would come up with the lyrics, and then like Henry, you rearranged that bridge to be like so much more interesting, and then Noah's guitar solos all over. It felt like that was the first like Avengers moment we had, you know, where we're all coming together to like fight the song. But it's Self-Portrait sort of feels like that too, because it was just like a very basic idea of that riff. And then that was around the time when we were in Vibe City, like vibing out the whole record. And so I would say that is like an Avengers song of like, this is the capacity that Surf Curse has now. You know what I'm saying, Henry?
No, I can hear that for sure now that you mentioned it, because like Sugars definitely has that more, it sounds like more that surf punk vibe to it, and where the like TVI and Self-Portrait are like, they have these very intricate guitar pieces while you're singing, and like I feel like they're just like structured a bit differently.
Depth.
Yeah, no, they're I mean, not like I said, not that the other ones I don't like.
Sugar has no depth.
No, that's not true. I'm just saying that
I'm
like
kidding.
it's just like a different it's just, it definitely has a different feel, those two. Well, I'm curious. Okay, so like a song, obviously Freaks is like massive, right? And that song came out, you said 2012. I mean, it was even before Buds.
We wrote that song probably in like, that was one of the first songs that we wrote as a band. And we started 2011. So that song was probably written and recorded in 2011. I mean, how we used to record, like when we first started the band, there was this little room in the basement. And hi, Jamie. And sorry, it's a podcast. No one can see that. But we would put a mic in the middle of the living room, or the room in the basement, and just play the song, like literally just play the song, and then I would sing a vocal on top of it, and that would be the song. And then obviously we re-recorded it another 2 times, but yeah, that's a long-winded answer to when Freaks was recorded. Sorry.
Well, I guess no. That's awesome. That's what I wanted to know, because I'm curious. Like, obviously, it made this like resurgence on like TikTok or something. Like, how did it come back and become like this thing? Because like recently it was like it's done well on like alternative radio and all that stuff, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, like with just no, you know, we didn't really do anything. It had a mind of its own. It's our Frankenstein, really. It's like our monster that we created. It continues to persist beyond space and time. And even though the villagers tried to burn it down, it broke out and got a bride of Frankenstein. I don't know what I'm talking about. It's a bad.
Yeah, what are you
metaphor, but-
talking about?
Well, it's a bad
Christ.
metaphor. Jeez. Okay, so no, we don't really know. I mean, like, I think that's the beauty of our music, is that like, and we're very lucky and we're very fortunate that like over the years, these like popular social media things have like projected our career along. Like in the beginning it was Bandcamp and Tumblr. Like Tumblr was huge for us back in like 2013. And then it was Vine. There was like stuff on Vine, and now it's TikTok. So I think we've just been very fortunate that the internet has been kind to us over the years.
Okay, so it all like all those platforms had a moment that would kind of push out one of the songs or a couple of songs.
Just like people just naturally just sharing stuff, you know. And then like for the TikTok thing, for example, it's just like, you know, one, you know, himbo who's into indie rock music put his pretty face on a TikTok and used our song, and all of a sudden everyone was starting to use it, you know. It's just like it happens. It just happens a lot with like TikTok, where people find either older songs or something that like kind of pertains, like a lyric or something that like works. You know, I feel like, I mean, the way that we've been talking about it, like it was popping off during the pandemic.
Mhm.
A lot of things were you just being on your phone, and you're taking in a lot of people's information. A lot of people are talking about music a lot. Like you start getting like these music algorithms or whatever. People talking about like, oh, have you heard this band? Oh, here's information about this or whatever. People are using sounds, so everything's just like happening at like a lot faster rate.
Mhm.
Our song got picked for some reason. Like in that it just happened. Same thing with Pavement. Harness Your Hopes is like
Yeah.
huge right now, and it's like it's
Really?
people-
I
like-
didn't even know that.
dude, that's why they're on tour right now. There's like they got a cupcake, and it's like a graph, and it says Harness Your Hopes. It's a huge part of it. Small cake every other song, and it's like
That's so crazy.
and like they're even being asked. It's crazy because it's the same question that Pavement's getting in like interviews that they're doing, where they're like, your song
What
is
do they
blowing up
say?
on TikTok. Same thing that we're saying. It's just like it just happens. Who knows? It's just
Mhm.
like something happens with the algorithm. Something happens with people picking and choosing. It just you
Yeah,
don't know why.
It's
You know what?
wild. Sorry, go
I
ahead.
kind of
It's
have.
weird. It makes
Never mind.
sense.
I don't wanna I don't wanna
think
say my
I do think
theory.
it makes
Too
sense, like
dark.
why it like
Too dark.
yeah. Well, that's the thing.
My
it's like,
theory
there's
is
a-
too dark. Like, but I have a theory about it.
But you don't want to.
Now,
It's too
now
dark?
that so now that I'm on TikTok, I feel like, okay, well, TikTok is so scary to me. It's beautiful and it's terrifying because it has this quality that just like changes like it sucks you in this way that nothing else has sucked you in before. Like it's very accurately adjusting its algorithm to you, right?
Mhm.
To be like maximum comfort, essentially, like to maximize your dopamine hits. And that's why people get so addicted to it and stuff, and that's why you can't stop scrolling. But the songs that are used in these things, so like when we first started doing interviews about Freaks, I wasn't on TikTok, and they would be like, why do you think this song is resonating? And I would be like, well, it's a song about alienation, it's a song about it's a song about loneliness, and that's what people relate to. But now now that I'm on TikTok, like I notice that people use these songs in very strange ways, and they're just like kind of elevator background music. And I think it's just like that riff in Freaks is so
Mhm.
addictive in a way. Like that riff in Freaks is so catchy and what people resonate with immediately.
It's
And that's what
Earworm, yeah.
that's
Mhm.
and that's what you're really hearing on TikTok. Like there's a few that go into the lyrics for sure. And I love that Jacob loves to give the himbos credit for like our major success. I feel like
That's all I saw.
that's all you saw. But I think it's just this like, the algorithm is picking up songs that are soothing to like the consumer, and they don't have to be challenging or edgy or anything, but they are just like they are earworms. They are catchy. They are addictive because it's like an addictive medium that you're on in the
Right.
first place. So even Harness Your Hopes, like that is like an addictive song for sure. It's just catchy. Like I don't even know if it has anything to do with the content.
Well, people are loving the lines, show me a word that rhymes with pavement, and I won't kill your parents and put them on a spit.
Yeah, of
and
course.
because-
That's the
and,
line
like-
that everybody screams. Yeah.
Right. And,
Like,
and
like
also
even
like
before it was huge.
and like the way that Pavement even talks about like their music is like it's very like nursery rhyme, na boo boo kind of like
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
and it's like
That's what
people,
I'm
like,
saying. It's
latch on
It's
to-
like it's almost like elementary, like, if you think about hit clips, it's almost like you're getting like a modern hit clip, but you're getting a hit of a song. You're getting that dopamine rush of like the most thrilling moment of a song, which I would argue that's that for Pavement and also all these other songs.
Yeah, I mean the band. Have you heard the band the Walters? They had that song "I Love You So" that was from like I don't know 10 years ago also, and it like resurged on TikTok out of nowhere, and they got back together. Like it was just
yeah,
like
but
this
that's
crazy.
I think it's because
experience.
these songs have like some sort of quality to them that is pleasing. Like these moments are pleasurable in a song. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Is this making any
No. It makes complete sense.
Like,
but I mean,
I think that's how it gets picked up, is because it's like it soothes
Mhm.
the listener, but it kind of in a disturbing way for me.
I dig it. I like it because
well,
it's
that's
like,
why it's beautiful and scary.
well, I like it because what I like about everything now is that there's not a sort of like no one's keeping it a secret anymore. Like everyone likes, especially like on TikTok and these certain sort of platforms now, it's like everyone loves talking about this stuff. No one wants to hide it, everyone wants to share it, you know. Like back in the day, I would have to like delve into the depths of the internet to find something interesting or find something that
Mhm.
like is new and unique. And right now everyone is just like down with sharing, you know. And it's like because of like the pandemic and because of like, you know, everything post that, as far as that sharing and like that, like, oh, we have time to sit and listen to music, we have time to go and explore the depths of someone's discography.
Mhm.
Which is like, I think is awesome, you know, like the fact that people are listening to Pavement now, and that's like becoming a huge thing. The fact that, you know, like you said, the Walters are getting back together, that's a crazy thing to happen, you know. It's just like,
Right.
it's nice to like finally like see things that should be respected or that everyone can share and listen to. And it's, you know, I'm cool with it, I'm fine with it, I love it, you know. I love catching up, I love the fact that we're sharing these things. Because I feel like a lot of music is like alienation, you know, and you feel like you can't, like, the fact that there's a bunch of Alex G heads out there, you know, the fact that there are people who are like taking stuff that he posted and making YouTube compilations, you know, same thing that happens with Nick too. And I, just because he's my bandmate, but just like the fact that people like post all of Nick's stuff that was like on Tumblr, and they make these
Mhm.
YouTube compilations. It's like, I love that. It's so exciting to me.
Mhm. Yeah, it's really fascinating how TikTok is just creating these, you know, researching these songs, and like these, like, I don't know, the Kate Bush song comes back, and it's like these things that are just kind of
Yes.
happening. Yeah. And you're like, what? That's like so random. And then it's like on top 40 radio. You're like, okay.
Well, it's because we live in a timeless time. Like
Right.
there is no definition of now. It's a lack of definition and a lack of form. So like in every respect, like our entertainment is crazy. Like you can enjoy anything, you can see anything, you can listen to anything, you can
Mhm.
wear anything you want. You know, like there is no definable era that is off limits.
Sure. Yeah. I know it's so fascinating. I want to get real quick, talk about the new music you guys have been writing, and you so Henry, you and Noah joined the band in 2019, and then the pandemic hits, and like how did you feel about that? I mean, did you guys even really have a chance to do much throughout that year before that happened?
Yeah, we did a few tours, two throughout the States and one in Europe, and went to Mexico. And for, yeah, probably like 6 or 7 months we were on the road.
Okay.
But yeah, once the pandemic hit, I had no idea. I mean, I was working at an art gallery. I assumed that things sort of was just be shut down for a while, you know.
Mhm.
Um,
And what about you, Noah?
I'm confused of what the question is.
Oh no, just saying, like, you joined the band, right? And you did all this touring, and then the pandemic hits, and are you like worried about, like, I mean, I guess, is the band going to keep continuing? Like, what do I do now? Like, I
obviously,
mean,
all
you're in
those
LA.
fears and worries like came in. I wasn't in LA when the pandemic hit. I was on tour with another band, and then I moved
Oh,
to
okay.
Mexico. But yeah, obviously I had no idea what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
And I just was kind of trying to exist in this day-to-day reality instead of worrying about the future too much.
Okay.
Obviously that didn't really, wasn't really the easiest thing to do.
Sure. Yeah, I wasn't sure if you had moved to LA for the band, and then that all happened, and it's like, okay, now I just made this move, and the band's going, but we're all kind of stuck back indoors. But so when do you guys start writing these new songs?
August or September of last year.
Okay.
Be
I remember
Nick, you got really
Yeah,
quiet.
something happened with your sound, bud.
Yeah, your mic kind of.
What? Can you hear
Now
me
you're
now?
better. Yeah.
I think maybe the XLR cable just kind of came out.
Oh.
You're
Thanks,
good
guys.
now.
So me and Jacob had a lunch meeting with Atlantic, and they were like,
You're cutting out a little bit.
how about now?
Yeah.
Better?
Yeah.
Yes. Just don't touch the XLR cable.
Okay, I've been playing with it a lot. So so me and Jacob went to this lunch meeting with Atlantic to talk shop. And I remember after that meeting, I was like, shit, we have to write some new songs. And I went home and I wrote Sugar, and that's when it started. That's when the song started.
Was were you getting these? Was it when Freaks is going wild on TikTok that labels are coming out again and like, hey,
Yeah,
we got hit ups.
Offers.
Yeah, we got so many offers. It was insane.
Yeah. So then they were
chasing
like,
us down.
we could do like another record with you guys. And so I was like, shit, we need to start writing. And so I went home and wrote Sugar, and then, you know, me and Jacob started meeting up and writing, and then eventually me and Jacob and Henry and Noah all started writing together. And that happened like summer of 2019. Summer of 2021.
21.
Summer of 2021. Summer of 1918. 2021. And it was funny because we went actually to re-record Freaks. Like Atlantic wanted a better sounding version of, well, they wanted the stems of Freaks because we didn't have the stems because the song was recorded 12 years ago.
Mhm.
So and we didn't have those, so we went, they were like, we're gonna put you in a studio. We were in New York at the time. We went to re-record Freaks, and they gave us 3 days to do that. So me and Jacob were like, well, shit, let's just like write some new stuff. Let's record some new stuff. So we got like 3 songs out of that, and we were like, let's do a new record. And they're like, cool, when? And we were like, in 2 months. So we actually were under a bit of we didn't have anything else written. So for the next like 2-3 months, we all just went into this room together, and we're just writing songs, and they all came out very naturally and beautifully. I definitely had to dip back into my like, I at one point I started going through all my old demos. Even that's like where Self-Portrait is from. It's like little ideas that I had recorded back in the day. Yeah, it's that's how it happened.
Wow. And then you have the albums coming out in next month, right? In a few weeks.
A few weeks, yeah.
Yeah.
October 7th, I think.
October 7th.
Yeah, that's exciting.
Oh yeah.
It's mad exciting. We're ready to get it out there to everyone. Share it with the world.
Yeah, and then you're doing a tour to support it, obviously. Like we talked about earlier, you're doing 2 days here in Nashville. Tell me about the tour. Have you done a big tour since the pandemic?
No.
Yeah,
we did Europe recently.
Oh, okay.
I wouldn't call that a big tour.
It wasn't big, no. It felt long because
5
we were there. We were just like hanging out in Europe for like a few days in between everything. Now we're going back on Saturday.
Yeah, you're going back
Europe
for a festival, right?
This is for a month-long, just like city shows.
Yeah.
Okay.
In Europe,
Aren't you doing a festival at the end of this month? Or am I confused?
We're doing a
Corona Capital in Mexico.
Yeah, in Mexico City.
Oh, Mexico City. That's what it was.
Which
and
is
then you're
gonna
doing
be
Europe.
Insane. Yeah. And then we're doing America. We're doing like
Europe first, then the States,
then
then Mexico, then the States, and then Canada, and then we'll be home for a while.
Yeah.
Toured earlier this year with Nick's band Current Joys. Me and Noah also playing that band. So that
okay.
That was the first that we had been like back on the road since the pandemic.
Yeah, everyone else in this band have been like hardcore
Road dogging.
touring. Yeah, road dogging. Like
I think I've only been home for collectively a month this year.
Yeah, Noah's probably the most fucked up out of all of us.
Oh, wow.
We had like a month off, and he just went on tour again with his other band during that month. So
That's crazy. That's a lot of touring. And you're doing 2 days. You're not doing a whole lot of cities 2 nights. I think here in DC maybe.
Yeah, for some reason, Nashville has 2 nights. But I don't know.
Did it just sell quickly, or you don't know? It just ended up
No,
getting
it's selling terribly. So to all my Nashville homies, please buy a ticket. But yeah, we've only ever played. I don't even know if we've ever played in Nashville before, but for some reason we're playing 2. We played once, and it was was it like a bad show or something?
No, it's great.
Oh, it was a great show. It was a good show.
We played with Grumpy, remember?
We played with Grumpy. The show was so good, we had to do it twice this time around.
I love it. Well, that's cool. That means you'll be staying here an extra day, which is rad. And yeah,
we'll have
I'm
to hang,
excited.
Adam.
Yeah,
I can't wait to go to Santa's Pub. You've ever been to Santa's Pub?
I've never been to Santa's Pub.
Oh, we gotta go. Yeah.
Where is it in downtown?
No,
It's in the North Pole.
It's in the North Pole.
Okay. I'll have to check it out. I'll have to see where it's at. That's awesome. Yeah. So yeah, thank you guys for doing this, man. I appreciate it.
No, thank you. Really appreciate it. Like,
Thank you, Adam.
yeah, it was a good talk.
Thank you.
Yeah, you guys have been great. I do have one more quick question before I let you go. I want to know if you have any advice for aspiring artists.
Don't stop.
Don't sign anything.
Don't sign anything.
Don't sign the first thing that comes to you.
If you don't own your masters own you. That's what Prince says.
My advice is chase the earworm. That's what I say.
Henry, you got anything?
I got nothing for aspiring artists.
They're screwed.
Just
Good luck.
just fucking be yourself and do what sounds cool to you.
For sure.
Yeah.
Don't conform too much.
Bringing it backwards.